Hello and welcome to Friday Excel BI. Today I want to share my top 3 time intelligence DAX. This time intelligence DAX will help you to calculate complex calculations including performance between a specific period, performance to date, and last but not the least, moving total. If you're visiting us for the first time, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get new videos notifications. Let's start the video. This tutorial is recorded and work on Excel Power Pivot. All the DAX logic shared is applicable in Microsoft Power BI. So, we have been provided with this data model where we have channel table, date table, store table, geography table, product table as the lookup tables and sales table as the data table. And we have also a dedicated measures table. If you want to learn how to create measures table in Excel Power Pivot, check out my video by clicking on the I button or video link provided in the description. So let's create our first pivot table. For that, go to Home, Pivot Table and Pivot Table. It's asking the location to create the pivot table and I want to create it on the existing sheet. Okay. And here we have our first pivot table. We are going to calculate time intelligence functions using the total sales. So let's create the total sales measures first. For that, go to Power Pivot tab, Calculation, Measures and New Measures. I want to store this measure in my dedicated measures table. Name the measure as total sale using sum and column name is sales. So here is my sales amount column from the sales table, bracket close, check formula, everything is okay. Now applying the formatting. For formatting, I am choosing number, whole number, use thousand separator and press OK. So I have my total sales amount. Since we are using the time intelligence function, therefore from the dim date table, I am dragging my date column in the rows. Microsoft Excel has grouped my dates, so to ungroup, right click and ungroup. So we have our basic setup and now we are ready to calculate first time intelligence measure. But remember, most of the time intelligence function are used in conjunction with the powerful calculate function. To calculate performance between specific periods, I will use DATEADD Time Intelligence DAX. To create the measure, go to your measures, new measure, save this measure in the measure table, name the measure as sales last day. So we are going to calculate all the sales for the last day. That means in front of 2nd Jan 2007, we will have a new column that will show us the sale of 1st Jan 2007. Similarly for 3rd Jan, we will have new column which will show the 2nd Jan 2007 sales and so on and so forth. For that, we will start writing the measure using the calculate. We are going to calculate the total sales. So total sales measure, and we want to calculate this measure using the DATEADD function. So DATEADD. DATEADD function has 3 arguments which ask us to define the date column first, and we have our date column in the dim date table. So dim date, and here we can find the date column, comma, then it asks for the number of intervals. If we want to go back in time, we will use negative number, and to go forward, we will use the positive number. So in our case, we want to get the previous day, so we are going back in time, therefore I am using -1, comma. The last one is the interval, which in our case is day. Parenthesis close, check formula, apply formatting, number, whole number, thousand separator and OK. We can see in front of 2nd Jan 2007, we have the amount of 1st Jan 2007. And this column is labeled as sales LD, that means sales of last day. Now we have 2 columns, total sales and sales LD. And we can compare and calculate the difference between these 2 columns to calculate the growth. whether we have increase in our sale or whether we have decreased our sale. So for that, we will again create a new measure. So measures, new measure, sales day on day, and to calculate this measure, I am going to use if statement and is blank. So if the logic is blank and I want to compare my sales LD. In case my sales LD is blank, then I want to show a blank. So for blank, I am using the blank DAX. Else, I want my total sales minus sales LD. Bracket close, check formula, perfecto, number format, whole number, use thousand separator, and OK. Let's check whether we have written the correct amount or not. For that, total sales minus sales LD, and we have written this correct amount. Now we can also calculate this sales day on day basis in percentage. To calculate it, we are again going to create another measure. For that, go to measures, new measures, sales DOD percentage, and we are going to divide our sales DOD by total sales. In case of any error, I want to show null values. Parenthesis close, check formula, number, percentage, and OK. So we can see we have the variance. It is positive, it is negative. Now to highlight the negative variance, we can use condition formatting. For that, go to home, condition formatting, highlight rules, less than 0. I want to mark it with the light red fill with dark red text, and OK. So now we have only one cell that has been marked, but this cell also have this button. Click on this button and drag this condition formatting on all the sales DOD percentage value by selecting the second option. That's it. We have all the sales that has negative variance. Now we are going to calculate performance to date, and we are going to use DATESMTD DAX. This DAX will show us day by day total in a month. You can also calculate on quarter basis using DATEQTD and on year basis using DATEYTD. So let's create a measure. For that, go to Power Pivot tab, measures, new measures, measure name is month total, and I'm using calculate. My expression is total sales, and I want to calculate DATEMTD. This will return total for a month, DATEQTD will return total for a quarter, and DATEYTD will return total for a year. So we are using DATESMTD, and it has only one argument to provide the date column, which is available in dim date table date. Parenthesis close, check formula, numbers, whole number, use thousand separator and press OK. So we have the first day sales, added the second day sales, and we return this number. This calculation is going until we reach the last day of the month, that is 31st January. So we reach the last day of the month, and on Feb 1st, this calculation is reset. So on Feb 1st, we have Feb 1st sales, added second Feb sale, and this cycle again continue until we reach the last day of Feb. And this cycle continues over the number of months that we have in our pivot table. So we have reached the last but not the least final part of this tutorial, that is moving total or running total. To calculate it, we will use dates in period DAX. Date in period is useful where you want to perform a calculation within a fixed time period. For example, a quarter, a month, a year, but always relative to your current period. So let's start creating its measure and understand the arguments. For that, Power Pivot tab, measures, new measure, name the measure as moving total, calculate. We are going to calculate the total sales, and we are going to use date in period. So it has 4 arguments. The one is common, the date, which is available in our dim date table date. The second is the start date. So if you are looking at a time period which is in the past, our start date will normally be the last day in the current period. Whereas if we are looking to the future, our start date will be the earliest date in the current period. So in our example, we are looking at the past. So for past, I am using max dim date table date. So this max will get us the maximum date available in the dim date table date. Now we want to move 5 points. So for that, again -5, we are looking in the past and our interval is day. Apply formatting, number, whole number, use 1000 separator and OK. Now let's understand the logic and interpretation of this DAX. So we have taken 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the status bar we can see 12549,171, which is equivalent to this amount. And how it is performing this task? It is adding 2649 plus 2430622 to populate this number. Now in this number it is adding 2581030 to populate this number, and this cycle goes until you reach the 5 point. As you reach the 6th point, it excludes the first point. That means now in the calculation this first point is not entertained. The first point will be this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the total we get from this calculation is 12590,082, which is equivalent to this. For next point, it will exclude the first point of the last calculation, that is the second one. So now the first point will be third. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total of these 5 points, that is 12998,263, is equivalent to this point. So that means after every 5 point, the first point of the previous total exclude and the next point is include. If you find this tutorial helpful, make sure you let me know by leaving a comment and a thumbs up below. You can also give your suggestion for future videos in comments. See you in next tutorial.